Here with Bonnie Haldeman, David Koresh's mother. You know, I've seen you here today and talked to you some. You seem like a really gentle, nice woman, and that makes me think even more so that all the stories we heard in the controlled media were lies about your son.
They were lies. They were lies. Because he was a kind, gentle person too. Loved people, and his main goal in life was to help, save people's souls. And he didn't like anybody to be unkind to anybody else.
And he also told the BATF to come on over 2 weeks before.
He did. He told them several times to come out. They were in the gun shop one day and found out that they were there asking about him, and he said, tell them to come on over.
The sheriff knew him.
Sheriff Harwell knew him. And
the sheriff of this county said that he was a good guy and wasn't bothering anybody, and that this was a good community out here.
He had come out here many times, just in and talked to David, and Sheriff Harwell told me last year, he said, I'm sorry, Bonnie, what happened, if anything I can do for you.
Well, there you have it. Attorney generals, sheriffs here in Waco, the sheriff here in Waco. It just goes on and on. FBI crime lab chiefs. What more do you need? The documentation is there. What would you say to the public in Austin, Texas, if there's just a few statements that you want to make to them about how they can avert this type of tragedy happening in the future?
How can they avert it? Well, we need to stand up for what we know is right, and to demand that investigations be done on what happened here and see if it doesn't happen again.
Indictments,
and we've got all of our family in prison that shouldn't be there. The jury of their peers found them innocent, and they're spending hundreds, of years in prison.
And that's very strange. Right here, you have the structure, and the BATF came up, knocked on the door, and when Koresh raised his hands and said, stop, let's talk about this, we have women and children, they opened fire, this is on the FBI's own tapes, into the front of the structure. This is even the edited tapes. And the door that's disappeared, lawyers and people that went inside said that the bullets were going in from the outside. You can tell this for novices out there. When a bullet hits a metal door, it makes a small hole going in and a large hole going out. So this, again, government-sponsored terrorism in your country.
We'd already had breakfast, and I was back in my room, and all of a sudden I hear a lot of people out here in the cafeteria, and I thought, what's going on? Seems to be a lot of people out there, and we've already eaten, so what's the deal? So I go in there to find out what's going on, and somebody says, hey, we just got word that somebody's coming. It's going to be some kind of a raid or whatever. And about that time, David walked in from this side. He'd come down the hall and come in the cafeteria from this other side, and basically confirmed it. He says, we just heard that, there's a whole bunch of some kind of agents coming. And he says, I want everybody to stay cool, go back to your rooms, just be calm. He said, I'll go down the front door and talk to them, see what they want, and try to talk to them. So I went back to my room. I heard him walk down the hall, heard him open the front door, and next thing, he's yelling, hey, wait a minute, there's women and children here, let's talk about this. And all hell breaks loose. I mean, there's shots coming in the front door like crazy. And my initial reaction was run down the hall, because I figured there's going to be blood and guts everywhere, massacre. And I get about level with where we are, about halfway down the hall, and Perry Jones is crawling up the hall screaming that he's been shot. He'd gone to the front door with David, and he's telling me David's been shot. So I'm trying to comfort him. He's laying on the floor and screaming, and I said, hang in there, Perry, because I'm thinking there's all these other people dead inside the front door or whatever. So I go running down there, and lo and behold, there's no one inside, no one in the foyer area at all. So I run back to Perry, and I'm trying to help him. And
so on the tape, as we see the BATF from the outside firing in incessantly, you guys are just going around trying to look for people that have been shot.
Well,
you guys aren't lining the windows shooting like the television shows us? I mean, like the made-for-TV movies? The movies aren't real?
There have been a lot more than 4 dead and 20 wounded if everybody had been there with a gun and an automatic weapon shooting at them. But no, that's not the case. In fact, I'd say most people were taken by surprise. Even though you initially told, well, somebody's coming, you don't realize that it's going to be a bloody mess, you know what I'm saying? You maybe have a little trepidation, well, are they going to be haul us all outside? Are we all going to jail? What's the procedure? We didn't know what was going to happen. But David more or less said, well, everybody stay calm. I'll go down and talk to him. So you figure, he'll handle it, And so next thing we know, all this shooting at the front door, people people upstairs, of course, are hearing the shooting from the helicopters.
The helicopters came in from that direction, and they were coming, and as they came in, David's room was here, like this is the building, his room's extended out on the south side, and that's what they were pointing at. They were pointing at his room, and, and they came in shooting in a V formation, and I'll tell you, they just kept it up.
And with the infrared, with the explosion and the people, the flashes that we have on infrared absolutely prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that people were killed. You know, law of averages would state that if there's 9 survivors, and I'm one of the 9, the people that survived came out of the side and the front of the building. The majority of the people were at the back of the building, in the cafeteria area. Law of averages would state that, you know, if 9 people survive from a fire, that people are going to come out of the back where the majority of the people are. And the fact that no one survived that came out of the back always escaped me. I could never understand why. I had a theory, but I could never prove it. This infrared video proves that beyond a shadow of a doubt, that people were killed. And now it's time to get the people that are in jail out of jail, and it's time to get these shooters. Let's get their names, let's find out who they were working for, who was responsible, and get these people put away. You know, we want a constitutional government. We're not radicals in the sense that we want a revolution. No, we just want our government back.
This militarism, you know, we'd never had a standing army before the Civil War. Now we've got this huge standing army with more than 200,000 troops permanently stationed overseas, the largest naval armada in the world since World War II in the Persian Gulf on a permanent basis. And that's not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We weren't cut out to do that. Here at home, you see things like Waco, which show that we carry over our militarism right into our churches to assault church people.
Well, yes, sir. My first question is, or my first statement about this is you're absolutely right. I mean, we have military training, people in black ski masks with the MJTF, multi-jurisdictional task forces, training directly with our local law enforcement in Austin, Texas, where I'm from, and I found out that this is a nationwide movement.
Sure it is, and the sad part is, you know, the cop is supposed to be our friend on the beat. He's the one that gets the cat out of the tree and takes care of the lost kids and stops someone from burglarizing a home and stuff like that. Instead, they love to be SWAT team. You know?
It's the thin blue line. They're teaching them. In fact, I've heard police.
Pretty thick blue line right now.
I've done interviews at protests and things, and the police walk up and say, "Stay behind the demarcation line," and you'll hear them talking. Watch the civilians. They're using military terminology. Is this dangerous?
Of course, it's dangerous. The paramilitary concept of police is a police state, you know, and our Constitution was created to prevent a police state. Yet our police expenditures, our creation of the fear of crime and the belief that you can solve crime by more prisons, by the death penalty, and by beating people in the head is crazy. It's just war with our own society, and you see it come to a head at a peaceful church in outside of Waco, Texas.